Hello and welcome to my new series for the Free Kick podcast channel, Before They Were Famous. This is a series where I, Ryan Shepherd, recall some former players who currently either play in Premier League football or on the international stage that I've seen go on to become successful after seeing them play in the Football League or Cup games against my League One club, Cheltenham Town. Now, I've seen a fair few players come and go over the years. Some have been successful, some haven't. But the players that I've got listed here are the more recognisable names of players that I've seen play against Cheltenham or for them, as there have been a couple that have played for the club that have gone on to have successful careers after leaving the club. So, let's crack on with the first player on my list. So, the first player I have on my Before They Were Famous list is none other than Nick Powell. Now, for those who don't know who Nick Powell is, Nick Powell currently plays for Stoke in the Championship, which is the second tier of English football for those people that watch that don't really know anything about football. So I'm going to have to cast my mind back all the way to the 2012-13 season. Nick Powell was 18 years old at the time and he played for Crewe Alexandra, was where his career started. Crewe are one of those clubs in the Football League that have a good knack of having one of the best academies back in the day anyway. Obviously, the whole Barry Bennell stuff obviously coming out isn't exactly good reputation for Crewe, but obviously the likes of Danny Murphy as well, who went on to play for Liverpool and Fulham, came through the Crewe Academy. But Nick Powell was another. The 2012-13 season was a successful one for Cheltenham, in my honest opinion. We had a very good squad. We had the likes of Marlon Pack and Khalid Mohammed in our team, and we were able to make it all the way to the League Two playoff final for a chance to get promoted back to League One after we had been relegated from that division at the end of the 2008-2009 season. Our opponents that day were Crewe Alexandra, and an 18-year-old Nick Powell, who no one had ever heard of. Well, obviously League Two fans had heard of him, but big name clubs hadn't heard of Nick Powell at the time. So it's the League Two playoff final at Wembley Stadium. I'm there in the crowd hoping that Cheltenham win so that they get promoted to League One. I was 10, 11 years old at that time, so obviously it was my first big game that I'd watched as a Cheltenham fan. So obviously it was a special occasion for me, taking the trip up the Wembley Arch, supporting my team. I got on the big screen at Wembley, saying, come on Cheltenham, into the camera, and it got played in the big screen at Wembley. It's a moment I'll never forget. But obviously what happened that day wasn't a good result. We lost 2-0 to Crewe in the final, had a goal disallowed as well for offside. But it's the only time I've gone away from a game knowing that I've probably seen one of the best goals ever live at a football match in the Football League in my time watching Cheltenham as a Football League club. Kelvin Mellor, the right back for Crewe, plays a ball into Nick Powell, who controls it brilliantly. He spins away from Marlon Pack, I think it is, in midfield, and he hits a shot from about, I'd say, 25-30 yards out. Just a simple shot that he's able to get up and loops down over our fine goalkeeper Scott Brown into the top corner of the goal, which we as Cheltenham fans were positioned right in front of. So Crewe attacked the way the Cheltenham fans were in the first half when it happened, and I knew as soon as he hit it that it was going in, and it was honestly one of the best goals I've ever seen scored live at a football match. You can probably find it on YouTube. It's honestly one of the best goals you will ever see. But yeah, Powell was instrumental that day for Crewe, and unfortunately on the day Cheltenham didn't turn up and we lost the playoff final, which meant we were confined to League Two football for another season. Nick Powell, however, had just scored one of the biggest goals of his career and he was only 18. A couple of months later, he earned a £1 million move to Manchester United, who, funnily enough, I also supported at the time. He never really played after he made the £1 million move. However, he did score on his debut for Man United in the final game of the season, which I thought was quite funny at the time. I thought, Nick Powell, I watched him play live. I thought he would go on to do well at Manchester United. Unfortunately for Nick Powell, he joined at a time after Sir Alex Ferguson left, and then David Moyes came in and never really liked him, and then Louis van Gaal came in, and it was pretty much the end of Nick Powell's time at Man United. He left Man United, went on to play for the likes of Wigan. I remember him playing for Wigan, took a starring role as they beat Man City in the FA Cup. And then he went on to play, and then he's currently plying his trade in the Championship at Stoke. But obviously, Nick Powell is a player who, although you could argue hasn't had a successful career, earned a £1 million move to Man United after scoring one of the best goals in a cup final in a playoff final against Cheltenham. So make more of that and what he will. But I think he's worthy of my list because of just the stature of the goal and because of the club he moved to after leaving Crewe. So yes, that was Nick Powell. Obviously, that's the one player done on my Before They Were Famous series. So next on the next episode, I'll be talking about a current Aston Villa and England striker. Ooh, how exciting. If you'd like this video and want to see more content from my Before They Were Famous series, please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Free Kick Podcast. We also do weekly live stream watch-alongs on Haps as well as podcast episodes on there, so make sure to go and sub over there as well. On that note, I will be back rather soon with episode 2 of Before They Were Famous. Until then, see you next time.